Okay, so into the first game tonight, Friday Night Fly. We've got Jordan is actually playing his mum, Julie, in the first game. Races to 4. Just adjusting now. The other tables we have. Bear with me 1 second. Nick Busson is playing Dan Richards. Myself will be playing Brian Hammond. Just waiting on him to turn up. He's in the vicinity. He's not ready. Got Paul McCambridge coming in. Hello, Paul. Okay, so first game, first break. Dry. So on the other tables, myself is playing Brian Hammond, Dan Richard plays Nick Busson, and Paul McCambridge plays Mike Griffiths. Jordan's in here with Reds. We've got his partner saying it will be an early finish for Jordan tonight. Courtney knows the player that Julie is. Very much capable of beating Jordan. I think maybe vice versa. So we could be in for a good match here to start us off. You can see Lee Lallo's just walked in the building. Hello, Lee. Well. Okay, so we just had a late comer to the tournament, so we're gonna just spoken to all the players and I believe we are doing a redraw. Bear with us for one moment. A million viewers in there. Okay, so yeah, we're going for a redraw. I believe I'm just updating now. So I'll just flick over to this. Okay, so I've just added Callum into it. I've adjusted size to 8. Change that to 9. Okay, so okay. So how it's worked it is that yeah, so I'm just going to randomly choose a number down between 1 and 10, and I'll randomize the draw now. 1, 2, 3, 5. So, Brian Hammond, Jordan Lark on table 1, and you on table 2. Okay, right. So there we have it. Just going to go and explain to everyone, and we will be back.
Good evening to the MRC Friday Night Flyer. A little false start due to a late entrant. We had Callum Thomas just join us late and we didn't want to stop him from playing, so we had to do a redraw. We still got Jordan on the live streams, but he will now be playing Brian Hammond. This is a preliminary game. The winner of this will go into the first round proper and play Callum Thomas. Brian's had many battles against Callum over the weeks. They are regular practice partners. And Brian did play Jordan on Tuesday night in the beginners tournament and beat him, I believe, in the final. So both players very familiar with each other. Brian will be a slight favourite to win this. And he often beats Callum, so potential for Brian to at least get into the semi-final. And if he was to get there, he will face the winner of Dan Richards and Jacob Bayless, so perhaps the top two players here tonight facing each other in the first round proper. Dan, the current champion, he won last Friday. I'll be playing Mike Griffiths, and Julie Jones-Morgan will be playing Nick Booson. Good to see Nick back down, haven't seen Nick in a while. Julie tells me she's playing well. She was in a tournament on Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe, Brecon, and she said she was playing excellent there, so going to be tough to pick a winner tonight. Maybe between that Jacob Bayless, Dan Richards game, Mike Griffiths always difficult to beat. Back to the action here. Look like Brian, you can always tell Brian with that knee brace on, still getting over his reconstructive surgery. Ligaments around his knee, recovering better and better each day, although that's a little bit loose. Covers the pocket somewhat. He's got another red on the bottom half of the table. So table advantage to Brian. Had a tough game against Jordan on Tuesday night. He beat me 5-4. So Jordan improving on these tables. Can't see anything easy for Jordan here. Who's watching the stream tonight? Let us know. Say hello. It's not a bad starter from Jordan. Confident start. Tricky pot. Rolled it in. Dead weight. Might have just left this one into the left centre. He's got a little gap. Again, it's going to be a similar sort of dead weight. These are always tricky. Delicate shot. Jordan taking his time. Good look at all his options. There might be a big pocket on the top right. But yeah, he's going to take this delicate one into the middle. He's got the weight right. Those are always tricky at that weight. And the way these reds are laid out on the table, it's advantage Mr. Hammond at the moment. He's got that easy pot into the bottom right bag, but you might want to just keep that there. Keep the advantage on the table the way the balls are split. Nothing easy. If he doesn't take that one, there's a bit of a thin one. He cuts it back, the red that's closest to the white. That's what he's looking at. Delicate. If you cover the bag, at least he's going to cover half of the pockets on the table. And that's what he's done. There's just not many options here for Jordan. The pot. The two middle pockets and the top right pocket. This would be... I can't see how he can plant those two into the middle. It doesn't go. But he's taking this long one into the top left, and that's a superb pot by Mr. Lark. Can he? No, he can't. He would have to hit the right-hand side of the yellow to make that plant, and I think the balls are too close together anyway. Played two cracking pots, Jordan, but just the way the table is, he hasn't got many options. What's he thinking of doing here? Just opening those two yellows up, but unfortunately, there wasn't really much he could do there. And the way this table is played out with three reds covering the bags, advantage Brian. Brian's just waiting to strike, and this is the time. It's time to strike. Probably not played that as well as he would like, because his only option, I believe, now is the one that's over the bag on the bottom half of the table. And he doesn't want to play that one because that guards the yellow you can see just below the black. So So he is going to take the top one, so at least it clears up another bag for Jordan. He's played that quite well. Brian controlled the white. So he's back in control. Should just nestle off this side cushion. Maybe a little bit short. I think he's blocked the one over the pocket and not sure he can get to the bottom red. He's aiming for it quickly so he can, but it's a tricky pot. Well within Mr. Hammond's capabilities though, as he's shown.
Oh.
Should be able to get this, but it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky to get on that final red. He's going to come off the cushion, then off the bottom cushion. Where she goes, nobody knows. If that white keeps traveling, Jordan will be happy enough because it doesn't go in the middle bag. No easy double. He thinks this might just nick into the right-hand side of the pocket. That's what he's looking at here, but it doesn't look like it to me. I think he's changed his mind. Leaning on the table. It was his time to strike. He did strike. He's got down to the final red. He knows Jordan's playing well. Jordan has had no real opportunity in this match so far. But the two shots he has played have been cracking pots. So Brian will be aware of that. Jordan's queuing nicely. He doesn't want to leave an easy table for Jordan. He's forced into playing something here. He is going to nick it, and he has nicked it, but he snookered himself. He couldn't play it with any more pace. I didn't think that went. Brian thought it might, but he has snookered himself on the black. So Jordan's still in with a chance here. It's a total. No obvious angle off the cushion, so he's going to have to play it with a bit of side. If he played it off the side cushion, he's coming off the bottom cushion. Makes it harder to hit. Almost potted it. He's got a pretty good white as well. In fact, it's a very good white. This is the type of shot Jordan missed earlier. He's just about dropped that in.
Close one, Paul.
I thought it had just passed the bag. And these are all pressure shots. If he misses, he's taking the trickier one on here. Game over if he misses. Where's the white going? Where's the yellow going? It's game over. It's frame over, I should say. I thought he had an easier option there. It is tight on the cushion. It is tight on the cushion, so the white might travel towards the pocket, but no problem for Brian. He had a little sniff there, Jordan. Had he have potted that yellow, perhaps that would have made him favourite for winning the frame, but Brian goes 1-0 up. He is expected to win this, and looking at the draw, he faces Callum in the first round. He's beaten Callum many times. Maybe Callum could cause a shock if it was Brian, but Brian possibly favourite to get into the semi-finals. As we said, if he did get there, he'd play the winner of our current champion on the Friday Night Flyers, Dan Richards, who plays our house resident professional, Jacob Bayless, in round one. I saw Jacob grabbing the triangle earlier, so they must already be a frame down.
I think Jacob played Justin a little bit earlier today. Small stake money match, £50.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
I'm not sure of the score, but I believe Justin won.
Well, Justin's not an easy player to beat.
No, definitely not.
Maybe Jacob will be well warmed up. Justin not down here tonight. He has been a frequent winner. Former youth European champion, world champion. I can't believe how many world champions there seem to be in Landry Dodwells. Everyone's a world champion.
Apart from me and you.
Oh, we'll
Not
get
me
there.
and you.
We'll get. I won a Tuesday night event once.
You're, aren't you in the top 100 on suspects in the UK?
Well, it's funny you should say that. It's funny you should say that. Unfortunately, left. Oh, where's that white going?
Oh!
It's funny you should say that because I'm not in the top 100 anymore.
Oh, what happened?
I'm in the top 50.
Top 50?
Top 50 in suspects
That
in
is
the
fantastic.
UK.
For those of you that don't know,
Plink Plunk's my username.
those of you that don't know, Suspects is a different version of Among Us. It's a game all about deceit.
A better version.
And or seeing deceit as well. It's not just about deceiving.
Absolutely.
It's about
and
social ties with people.
Convincing people that you're
Good,
trustworthy.
that you're good.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
basically you're trying to convince them you're good all the time, even if you are bad.
Yeah, I'm at the highest ever. I'm 48th in the UK.
No easy feat.
No easy feat at all. No
Almost
easy
as
feat at all.
difficult a feat as winning the Friday Night Flyer.
Well, it's hard to say what's more difficult. Mr. Hammond, he has won a Wednesday night flyer before. I don't think he's ever won the Friday. This could be his opportunity tonight. He's 1-0 up here. He's in at the table. The yellows are very potable. Just needs to get the weight on this right, because that white's going to go travelling. Oh, he's used... Well, he used the other yellow nicely to keep hold and keep control of the white, but didn't pot the yellow. He's covered the bag, which is always second best in that situation. Jordan hasn't got an easy table. If you can get 1 or 2 good pots here, it will open them up. But those 3 towards this right-hand side cushion are tricky. It's a thin one. His white doesn't look too good here, so he's forced to play one of these 3 now. The plant looks a bit too difficult. The other red, that would be a hell of a pot. Mr. Zach has just walked in here as well. Big smile on his face, big Liverpool fan. I've just bought a Japanese player today, Endo, is that correct? Endo, he tells me he's a good player for Liverpool. We shall see.
Speaking of football, we've got a big game tomorrow, Paul.
Han Drindod Wells FC is at a cup game against... Oh, it's Bow Street, isn't it?
League game, I believe.
Was it? I read on Facebook it was
maybe
a cup game.
Or maybe it is a cup game. Oh, it's a cup game.
Zach, if Zach confirms it's a cup game, Zach's usually the source of reliable information. So, Bow Street are in your league, and I believe they're top of your league.
They're doing very well. They've had a good start.
So it's going to be a difficult game for Han Wells.
Speaking of other football, another big game tomorrow. Who's that? Man United against Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh, is it United Spurs tomorrow?
It is.
Interesting.
What's your pick for that game?
I think we'll keep Harry Kane quiet. Oh, that's a bad miss by Brian there. I think your laugh put him off.
From Dan McGarry.
Don't expect Brian to miss those.
I want it all. Mike.
Mr. Griffiths has just walked in, just checking on the score.
Checking
Brian
on the
Hammond,
competition.
1-0. All good players, Mr. Griffiths says. Mike won our Tuesday night event a couple of weeks ago. Who do you fancy for the title tonight, Mike?
Good enough to get down. Hopefully I'll get at least.
You've got a tough first round opponent.
Yes, yourself. I won't be underestimating you at all.
Mike beat me 4-1, I think, a couple of weeks ago on the Tuesday. Won that tournament. He beat Brian playing here 5-0 in the final.
I did, yes.
Mike, always difficult to beat. If he does win, he'll play the winner of Julie and Nick Bruson. Julie beat Nick the last time I saw those two play.
She's playing well. She really is.
Julie said Tuesday or Wednesday she was in a tournament in Brecon. Pub league or something. She was played really well. I played her in a warm-up earlier. She was playing well. That's a lovely shot by Brian.
She's steady at the moment. Just trading up and playing. It's great.
He's clipped that red out his Brian. Jordan needs to do something now. It's a bit of an ugly set of reds, especially two on the top cushion. He's not played that well. He's thrown the frame away with that. It should be 2-0 to Brian. Just needs to control the white. He has done. And Jordan is going to go 2-0 down here to Brian. Rolls it into the left centre pocket. Goes 2-0 up. Winner of this plays Callum Thomas in the first round proper. Brian looking steady enough. Jordan's not quite settled yet. Brian not at his best either. Can be tricky playing on the stream sometimes. Gets into players' heads a little bit. Both players I've seen play better than this. Brian just doing enough at the minute. 2-0 up.
So Brian taking a quick 2-0 lead against Jordan. I haven't been able to see too much of this. Been nipping in and out, sorting some other bits out.
He's just doing enough. Jordan's not playing as he can play. I've seen Jordan play a lot better.
He's got a new cue as well, I believe.
Oh, has he? Maybe it takes a bit of time getting used to a new cue. Brian, he's favourite to win this, but
As the patented Brian Lean.
yeah, Brian leaning on the table. Some people complain about that at times.
Oh,
Was he trying to cut that? Was he trying to cut that in?
I think he was.
This is open table, I believe.
Big chance here for Jordan.
He's got a chance to take the red into the right centre. If he takes that, he's in control of the table.
Take his 2 1.
Just got an update. Julie is 1-0 down to Nick. So Nick trying to get a bit of revenge on their previous encounter. And Jacob and Dan in that blockbuster game. Dan, current Friday night champion, is 2-1 up on Jacob. So Dan going for back-to-back tonight, 2-1 up. This is the first time Jordan has been in a bit of control of the frame. He hasn't played that thin enough. Just as we said, he's in control of the frame. He's give control away. Brian can knock this in to bottom right. Yellows are fairly open. He's got a tricky one on the top cushion. He's taking his time on this shot. Knows important to get good positioning after this. Pot does go. Tricky to get the white in a position where he can leave a bit of a run. This is a thin one. Down the cushion. He's played it well. Nice little kick on the red. So he's looking pretty good here. He's got that one close on the top cushion, which if he can just roll in behind that some way, very potable. And then he's got the yellow and the red close together. It does go into the centre bag. He's controlling this nicely, Brian. This is a nice few balls. Good control of the cue ball. It's probably where he's just slightly ahead of Jordan. Jordan, a hell of a one-off potter. Need a bit more than that in the pull. And Brian just exhibiting some superior cue ball control here. He should push this through a little bit, leave himself options of the other two yellows. He's pushed it through a little bit, but he probably would have wanted a little bit more than that.
Left it a little bit short, hasn't he? It's a tight
Yeah,
one. He's not
it
quite
was
able to.
short, and he didn't hit that thin enough. It's not the worst white in the world, but he has got this one in the middle pocket. He's missed a couple of these in this game, Jordan. He's got to get this. He's having a look down the rail.
Leave the white safe. Oh.
Well, it left a safer white. Had he have took the one into the middle, and I think that's in his mind. He's missed a couple of those shots, similar. Would have left an easier yellow after that. Brian, even another tricky white, top cushion. He might be forced into cutting this one into the middle now. He's having a look where he can leave it a safe white. Red in the very bottom is just off the cushion. Potential just tapping that, maybe rolling in behind the two reds. Defensive. Might be looking at that. Weight is difficult on this one. Looks like he's played it pacey. Clipped the two reds. I'm not entirely sure what he's trying, but he's not the worst white, but you'd expect Brian to knock that in and screw back and game over, or frame over I should say. So nice straight cue in here from Brian. As long as he can screw back, get past the red. Has he snookered himself behind the black?
I think he has, Paul.
He has.
Done that a couple of times so far.
Well, he didn't screw it back. It just went sideways. He has to bend this a little bit. He's clipped the yellow. Where's that yellow going? The yellow's going a little bit ugly. So Jordan's still in this frame. He needs this frame. But again, in terms of where the white's going for Jordan, could have been a bit kinder for him. Wants a safe white, he's probably going to think somewhere on the top half of the table if he can't get the snooker behind any of these reds. I think that's what he's trying. Maybe a shot to nothing here. He's got the weight right, just a bit too hard. Maybe leave the red somewhere over the pocket if he can get near it. Nowhere near the pocket, but he got the main thing, which is the safe white. Brian can't pot this direct. Could be a bit of a hit and hope. Cleared the yellow out into the middle of the table, but Jordan has to do damage now. Again, the white fairly close to a cushion. This is a very tricky cut back. Jordan's electing to take here. He's got it though. Where's the white going? He's played that all right. Just could have come up a little bit higher, made this red easier. That was a thin cut. Always with that, the white's going to go flying. Another good pot required here. What's he trying here? Double maybe? Double? I think the yellow was always blocking that. And he's pushed the yellow towards the pocket. Maybe not the right shot there by Jordan. And should be punished by Mr. Hammond with 3-0 up. Oh, he's missed it! And that's a shocking miss from Brian. Did not expect that at all. Fairly straight. I mean, it wasn't easiest yellow, but very potable. And look where the yellow's gone. It is blocked now in that bottom right pocket.
Into a very ugly frame ball.
And Jordan, still alive here. He's trying to play a snooker, and he's played the right shot this time. Might just be able to nick the right-hand side of that yellow. No, he can't. He's hit the black flying around the table. Could go towards the middle pocket. So Jordan now with 2 shots. How does he use these? What would you do here, Mike? Mike, technical analyst.
I'd probably take the yellow onto the red, or even the red onto the red.
Possible
move the white,
plant.
obviously, yeah, move the white.
So Mike saying
Onto that one.
plant the red onto the red. Still blocks the pocket. The pocket. The old pocket. He's going to take his middle bag first.
No, he's
As the
not.
black. Oh, Jordan, what are you doing? I think he might be tempted here for top left. And a bit conservatively. Safely, he cannot afford to lose this frame. This is going to go towards that pocket if he does cut this. Especially if he plays it at pace. Dead weight safe. Probably doesn't want it to go in. It has gone in.
It's fine.
So this is a plant. This is a plant that Mike was talking about earlier. It's probably a slightly harder angle from when he could have done it from his first shot. Still doable. Ooh, it needs to keep going. Needs to keep going. That white.
Oh.
It hasn't. It's still cuttable, and it may pot. At the very least, he'll get that yellow in behind the 2 reds. That's probably not what Jordan wanted to see. Does have to use the rest. Can sometimes make things a bit awkward. He's gonna hit this pretty thin. He's done it okay, but the white's travelled a bit. Looks okay. This is similar to the shot he missed earlier. This to go 3-0 up. And there's a mountain to climb for Jordan after this. Nice straight shot for Brian. Oh, he
just
rattled it in.
about.
It wiped its feet, but it did drop. Brian goes 3-0 up, and a bit of a struggle there for both players towards the end of that frame. Jordan had a couple of opportunities, those 2 shots. He really needed to make a bit more of them. Interesting to hear the different opinions. Mike said he, maybe initially should have played the plant.
Just looking at the comments on the YouTube, I can see Courtney, Jordan's girlfriend or wife, and I'm not sure if they're married. He says it will be an early finish for Jordan tonight, and unless a miracle happens, she's going to be right, I think.
Well, we have seen players come back from 3-0. It's not a common occurrence here in the Friday night MRC events. It has happened. This would probably be one of the greatest comebacks of all time. Jordan
Sporting history.
to do this. Will drop.
He's got 3 in, that's not bad.
3 yellows, but look at that. No yellow, no potable yellow unless he can very thinly connect with this yellow into the center. There's nothing worse than doing a really good break, maybe putting a few of the same colour, but you can't actually get on the colour. The reds are nicely split as well, so he might be tempted, he might be forced to take reds. I'm not sure those 2 yellows are kissing each other near the bottom right bag. Cut our direct plant. See Mr. Bayless walking into the control room, putting his cue down. That suggests to me that he has unfortunately been defeated. Well, he has to take the reds. There's a bit of drama. I don't want to get involved. There's a bit of drama going out here. I think there's been. What was the score, Jacob?
Played really well.
Dan in good form, 4-1 winner last Friday night champion goes into the semi-final. He'll play the winner between Julie and Nick. Awkward bridging here. Just been listening to some of the drama outside. It seems there's been some disagreements about the music selection that's been played in the poll room. Of course, we can't hear that in the commentary box, but it seems to have caused a bit of drama in there. People upset about the choice of music, or I'm surprised about that. I don't know what to say.
The music was.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but seems to have caused a real ruckus in the Friday night event.
Anyway,
such that I've lost.
Back to this game. Courtney says that Jordan's been up since 4:30 a.m. He definitely needs bed.
She would want him back into bed, of course, as partners tend to do. That's the best place. Can Brian push Jordan into Courtney's bed, or will Jordan produce an outrageous comeback? Unfortunately for Jordan, well, fortunately if he gets himself into bed earlier. There's always a balance to these things, but it doesn't look good for him in this match. Brian at the table. This is a thin one if he wants to take it. If he does take this, will be frame over. Straight into the top right bag. Get this, could be over. Nice pot. Didn't play it with screw back, however, which I thought he might. He just pushed it in, which makes the pot a touch easier. But that red is cuttable. It just means it's a little bit trickier to control the white. It will go off a couple of cushions. All about the weight here. Oh, he's missed it! Well, he's actually hit a red on the way down.
Oh, he's got so lucky there, isn't he, or not?
Well, can he
get
Jordan
this bottom left yellow?
Pot this? See how quickly he gets down, or is it blocked? He needs to screw back just to maybe nudge that yellow. Oh, he's covered the bag. He's covered the bag at least. He's covered the bag at least. Had he not have done that, it would have been frame over. So there's still a little bit of hope for Jordan. Brian's got this long one into the top left. Nope,
Oh, he's way
it's not
off.
there. It's not there. So now
Hold on. Oh, you never know.
and he's pushed the red a little bit safer as well onto the cushion, although the red he was trying to pot's going over the middle bag. But this is it. This is when you need to start doing it, Jordan. You need to decide whether you want to stay in this tournament
Go to bed.
or go to bed. What do you want? Well,
He wants 2, 3.
How is that not
4.
dropped? It looks like it's flowing. It looks like it's flowing on the camera here. Well, this yellow is defying the laws of physics. Jordan has answered the question.
Oh!
It's dropped!
Gotta be respotted.
It's dropped! We thought it was flowing.
It wasn't
Look
there,
how
Brian.
Brian's put it!
It
More
wasn't there,
into the
Brian.
middle!
Oh,
Controversy! No, it's not there, Brian!
what?
What on earth's
Get
going
in
on
there.
here? Mr. Bayless.
That was
Mr.
in
Bayless,
the
can we
middle
have a
of the
rule check? So this yellow was in the center of the bag. It stayed up for about 10 seconds and then it dropped. So they've replaced it, but Brian's put it right on the cushion, but it was definitely in the center, right in the center. So we've just had a rule check here, and the yellow should be right in the center. Jacob is... He's just moved it there. As the rules, it should go back in exactly the same place. This is an important plant, and he's done it well. Big chance here for
He's
Jordan.
not going to bed yet.
He's just got to control the yellow. It's clipped the black. Surely he's not snookered himself. Surely he's not snookered himself. You know what? If that had been where Brian had put it, he might have been able to cut that in. Unbelievable. And it would have been an easier off the top cushion.
Oh,
no, he's
missed
missed it. And
Hang on.
hang on.
Oh!
My word.
Too close, that was.
What can you do? What can you do,
If
Jordan?
that clipped off there, that would have been so just, moving the ball back into the middle.
Well, I'm just speechless. Just speechless at what sometimes I see in these pool games. So much drama.
On and off the table.
Black gone.
Oh!
Oh, it's nudged out yellow again, but it looks like it's floating a little bit, but that's not the shot that Brian wanted. Going for a quick double. He's played that. Has he got the snooker?
He got a bit lucky there.
Here again, if the yellow had been where Brian put it, he'd have been able to pot that. So strange.
Oh, that's why we just follow the rules. Let's keep it simple.
He needs to bend this. I don't think he needs to bend it. Oh, no!
And he's left it easy as well. Oh,
Jordan, I was hoping you would last a little longer. I was enjoying this, but unfortunately, that is game over. Well, Brian would have wanted to come up a little higher, but this is a fairly big pocket with the yellow as it is, and Brian wraps up this game 4-0. Some interesting drama in the last couple of frames, but unfortunately Jordan is out of the tournament, which will be probably good news for Courtney. He needs his bed. He's had a long day at work, so you can get yourself into bed. There's the draw. We can see Dan Richards is into the semi-finals already. He'll play the winner of Callum and Brian Hammond, and Nick was 1-0 up on Julie. Don't know what the score is at the moment, and it looks like I'll be going now to play Mr. Griffiths.
Good luck, Paul.
Mike would be expected to beat me, but we shall see.
Let's go, Stu.
We're back. The dream team is back on the mic.
Paul and Mike. Big game.
This is a huge game, isn't it? I mean, these two are the two scariest looking people there.
Yeah, and the oldest.
And the oldest looking people. And the oldest people.
I think they are the oldest people.
Yeah.
I don't think
So
it's
a
rude
battle
to
of
say
the
that.
ages. Really. There's a lot of experience, life experience at this table right now. Do you know what I mean?
Compared to,
And a lot of pool experience compared to most people.
yeah,
Compared to me and you.
way more than me and you.
Yeah. On both aspects.
I'd
not
prefer
just, yeah.
those two sat here, really, doing the comms, because neither of us have a clue what's going on.
Well, it'd be pretty tough for them to commentate and play at the same
Yeah.
time.
Of course.
Yeah.
What do you want, mate?
Well, I've just lost my co-commentator. So we've got Paul at the table. I believe that's Paul. Yeah, that's Paul's shoes. I know those shoes. You can always tell it's Paul by the way he cues his, gets down a cue, plays on the top of his knuckle there. Seems to work for him. I can't do it. It's impossible. Well, I can't do it normally, to be fair. So, but I think it's been a very good game. Paul's been playing quite well. The Wednesday flyer, he drew Jacob in the first round, and he just played the black safe there, getting that yellow over the pocket. Didn't quite work out quite as nicely as he would have wanted, but the black is definitely safe there. But I was saying that Paul played Jacob in the first round on Wednesday, the Wednesday night flyer, and he lost 4-3 or 5-3, I think, or something like that. It was a very close game. Oh, and Mike down at the table misses his first shot. That's not what he wanted. Bit of nerves. First shot nerves, maybe. But Mike, certainly a very good player. He will come back strong, I'm sure. But a good opportunity here for Paul to deal some damage. Able to sneak this one yellow in there. He's left himself with that last shot he played, his last visit at the table. He has, oh, that's a lovely shot. He has covered that top right bag. That's pretty unfortunate. And as I was saying before, he's left that other yellow on the left side of the table safe, pretty safe there near the black. So he's going to have to try and figure out what he's going to do with that if he gets a chance. But that one yellow might sneak past that red in the top right. Let's see what he decides to do. He's tried to maybe played away, maybe. I don't know if that yellow's a long one down at the bottom left. It's a long way. If he goes for it, it looks like he's going in the middle bag. Maybe it sneaks in between those two reds. This would be some delicate shot. He's going for both. Oh, nearly had both in one, but instead he missed both. So that's pretty unfortunate. And now Mike's going to shake off that last shot, and he's going to get some balls down, get himself around the table here. Lovely little shot just to develop that one off the cushion. Perfectly weighted shot. Very nice.
Back.
Chef's back. Chef's back.
Yeah.
What's on go tonight, mate? Cooking wise.
Couple burgers in there for me and you.
Oh, well, thank God for that.
Couple chips in there for me and you.
Yeah. How many chips? 7 each? 17. That's a good amount of chips.
Each.
And there's some goujons on the go, I think.
Some hot and spicy chicken bites.
Hot and spicy chicken bites, yeah.
Big
And one, yeah. He needs to fuel his tournament, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He needs to get his energy up because he could have a long road ahead of him.
Well, he's got
Yeah, he's in the semi-final now.
Callum O'Brien next.
Yeah, tough game. Either one of those. Can Callum cause a big upset? Beat Brian in the second round.
Do you know what's winding me up?
It's great.
That and Paul's name's kind of needs moving over.
Alright, I'll do it. Is that better? Do you want it more? Further, right?
Yeah.
Further across.
Come on,
Further
mate.
across. Here we go.
There it is.
Is that better?
Wow, it's just such a long name. Luckily, he's got a short first name, because if he had a long first name as well,
Yeah,
we'd never fit it in there.
like Ezekiel. something like that.
Yeah. Or,
Ezekiel McCambridge. You name a longer first name. Oh wait, Mike's
Mike.
one. Mike's yeah,
It's Mike 1-0 up, mate.
Right, I come out of nowhere. Right, well played, Mike.
We didn't talk about the pool.
Yeah, we never do.
No.
We never do. Do you know why? 'Cause I don't have a clue.
No, not a clue.
But tell you what I do have a clue about. That chicken burger cooking for us.
Yeah.
That's what I have a clue about.
That is
I have
coming.
a full clue about that.
That is coming, and when it comes, we'll show everyone on stream how great the food is.
Yeah, down the MRC food and that. Yeah.
It's gonna be lovely.
What are you going to put in yours?
I'm putting the same in both of them, mate.
What's in that? What is that?
Onions.
Nice. Onions, lettuce.
Tomatoes in yours.
You don't want tomatoes. I
So
don't
they're
want.
not
I
the
don't want.
same.
I don't want tomato. Mate.
There we are then.
I
Just
want tomato.
onions and lettuce.
We've got jalapenos here as well. Some
Have we?
Yeah,
Oh, I'll chuck
and we've got
some of them in
spicy sauce, spicy Nando's sauce, and salt and
Ketchup,
pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to put some mayonnaise.
No spicy sauce.
barbecue mayo on my chips,
No,
but-
no. It's got to be the spicy sauce.
Alright, I didn't know that existed. We can put that out there with all the
Other condiments.
Continents. How many continents are in the world?
How's it going, Nick? Did you win?
We missed him. gone, yeah. 4-0 Nick against Julie. Julie with a tough opponent there in the first round. Nick does get his revenge. I got it. I done it. Quick, mate. No, I'm quick. Look, it's done. All right, give it a second. So we've got Paul at the table here. Needs to get framed. But he's gone for the double. That's a brilliant little skill shot there. It's fantastic. 2 in 1 pocket. Followed it through. Lovely. Not 100% sure he meant to do that. No, of course he did. Of course he did. It's a lovely shot there, Paul. Well done. Well done, Paul. I know you'll be watching this back later on. You know Paul watches all these back later on.
I know.
100%. So we can leave messages for him now.
Secret ones.
Secret message.
Like
It's
the
not a
first,
secret.
like the first. What they called when you the first letter
Treasure
of each
Hut.
word is
First, oh right.
what's
yeah.
that called? It's a
Anna.
what's that called?
Like a anagram.
Is it?
Anagram.
Is that what it's
No,
called?
anagram. No.
It has a specific word.
Yeah.
You got
It's
Google
like
at your
stuff.
fingertips, mate.
It's. Oh, that was close, Paul.
That's unfortunate.
Paul, if you're watching this back later on, please let us know what the word is we're looking for.
Yeah, he knows
We'll
it.
have to
He
wait.
definitely knows
We'll have
it.
to wait till tomorrow.
No, but I wanted to create one for him.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
We
okay.
could have used ChatGPT to create it,
Yeah.
and then we read out the sentence, and he has to work out what the
Yeah,
secret
and it's something really
was.
like.
The problem
Yeah.
is now we've told him what it is.
He'll know what to
exactly
look for.
it is.
Yeah.
But he won't know when
Yeah.
we do it.
No, we could have already done it.
Yeah. So he could be having a nightmare trying to figure out the first letter of each word.
No, even better. What we do, right, is we
Mike's
we
missed that
tell him
one.
we.
Mike's missed that one.
Great commentary. That Mike's missed that one. So what we could do, right, to play a little bit of a trick on Paul, right? We could say that we're going to do this, and then not do it, so he's looking for nothing.
Yeah.
Lovely, Paul. He's off and running again. I think that's a foul.
Paul should clear this up. mate.
Yeah, exactly right. And he's a good player. He's got the capacity to, and that's a lovely shot. Brought it all the way down the table. It's all right. It's probably not quite as perfect as he would have liked.
No, he is a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Paul. He does something, he does it right.
And that's all right. Ball to make it 1-1 here, and he gets it. And the white hasn't got enough pace. It was on its way to that middle pocket, but he had the weight right, and it's 1-1 here.
What's Mike doing? He sets everyone up here for some sort of practice drill during the match.
No time for that. Practice is over. This is the MRC Friday Night Flyer. This is where dreams are made and shattered. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I got an idea. Could have a very close game here between Paul and Mike. 1-1 currently. A couple of misplaced shots from both players so far. But Paul in a good opportunity here. Yellows are looking pretty good here. The black also goes. Paul's going to leave that top left yellow for as long as he can, I think, and use it when he needs to. As he left himself... Oh, he might have to use it now. If he can get through that gap, I don't think he can. Is he going to go for a plant into the middle? This is a highly problematic shot. He's gone for the top one. He's got it. I couldn't even see that. I don't know if it's the angle of the thing or I just don't know what I'm doing. Could be both. Probably the latter. But very good shot there from Paul. He's starting to heat up here a little bit in this second round. Can he keep it together? He's got a few more good shots left to make and he'll see himself 2-1 up here. And he's not quite. They are tight pockets here. After a more difficult shot in the last one. Wasn't quite able to find the pocket in this one. Mike going for a very difficult shot down the rail here. Not an easy shot at all. He's not quite able to get it. He has covered the bag now. I don't think Paul has got much on here. So it's not a bad shot at all, that from Mike. Covered the pocket. Hasn't left Paul with anything really at all. Is Paul going to go for a triple plant? He's gone for it and he's not quite able to get it. And Mike back at the table. He's got an opportunity here. It's got pretty difficult, the red on the left side of the table there. Problem ball with that yellow covering that top pocket. Try and clear it now. That's a lovely pot there. Still quite a bit of work to do here for Mike with that problematic yellow in the top right and left. Can he sneak past it here? It's a good shot just to cover that pocket. It doesn't quite cover it as well as he would have liked. I think Paul can just about squeeze it in. He's going to go and he's going to try that now. It's a thin one, but he gets it. Where's the white going? Oh, that's unlucky. It was a good pop, but with the thin cuts like that, you always struggle to control the white. And that will be 2 shots now to Mike. Mike is going to get rid of that problem yellow in the top left pocket. He's going to try to, and he does. Just about clips it out of the way. I can just hear Zach in the kitchen through the wall, readying the plates of food. That's a lovely shot there from Mike. Brought the white ball down the table. Lovely to get himself on this red that's tight along the cushion. Look, is he going to leave it there? I think he's got to get rid of that now, surely. It's perfect position for it. It's a lovely shot to get there. But I can just hear Zach readying the plates of food in the kitchen. I'm very excited. I hope the plate's one of my plates. Good shot there from Mike. Using the black just to steady the white in the middle of the table. Or away from the cushion at least. Rattles that one in, brings the white back down the table. Lovely. If you can go for either ball here, chooses the middle one first. This should be pretty routine here for Mike to go 2-1 up. Bit of screw back. Has it gone a little bit too awkward now? It's okay. It's not on the cushion. Just needs to stay composed here. That's a lovely shot again. Well played there from Mike. And he looks like he's going to take it 2-1. The lead goes back to Mike. Right, we're back. Sorry, I was just going in to help Zach with some food orders and bits and bobs in the kitchen. Somebody in the chat, let me know how this frame has been. Who's been on top? Who's made mistakes? Who's made great shots? Looks like Mike is in a pretty good position here to take another frame from Paul. It's a good shot there. Kept the white where he needed it. Nice and steady there from Mike. He's looking good here. And he does finish that one off to take it to 3-1. So Paul needing to pick up his game here a little bit. He's trailing 3-1 against Mike, but Mike is a very good player. Paul is certainly capable when he's playing well, but I haven't seen too many mistakes from Paul. I think Mike is just playing too well. He's just too good for him at the moment. Paul is a grinder, and he's not shy of playing the ugly safety shots when he needs to. He wants to survive at all costs, for sure. But that isn't going to help him. Looks like a dry break. See if Mike's able to make him pay and put him out of this tournament. So the winner of this match will play Nick Busson. Nick beating Julie Jones 4-0 in the first round, or in the last round. Oh, it's an uncharacteristic miss there from Mike. And I think he punches the table there. He's not happy with that. Paul can Paul keep his calm here? Get some balls down. It's all right. I mean, he's got the red into the top right. He can see it past that yellow. It's a lovely shot. I can sense that my food is close. It's close to being ready. It's very important to me. Oh, Paul, I think he's just too close to that yellow. Can he see it? Oh, I think he's going to hit that yellow. No, he's not. It's a lovely shot from Paul. He's got another very difficult shot here. I think he's going to have to go down to the bottom left. But he might be able to, if he does miss the bottom left shot, he may cannon that second red into the third and into the middle pocket if he's lucky. It's possible. I think it's possible. Or he's just going to go for the close red, the close red anyway. That's a bit boring. But, you know, it's probably the right shot to take, but a bit boring from Paul, but it's fine. And he's got that. Come on, Paul. He's got a good opportunity here. He's to stay in this game. My food's arrived. What a magical day. Zach, these chips aren't cooked, mate. Only joking. Only joking. They're lovely. Paul's just run it on a little bit too far there, but he still might be able to see it. And Paul gets it. It's a brilliant clearance there from Paul. He makes it 3-2 here. He's still alive. Oh. This is medium spice. We got Nando's Peri Peri medium spice because we're hardcore, aren't we, Zach? Hardcore. Medium.
Medium. medium hard.
Extreme medium going on here.
Medium core.
Yeah, medium core.
But that sounds good down the mic as well.
Bit of ASMR, mate. What's wrong with that? People make very good living from ASMR. What does
Rock
ASMR?
bands.
What does ASMR mean? Audio something MR.
Yeah. And mukbangs, mate.
What?
Mukbangs, mate.
What's a mukbang?
People just eat and chat on mic. Just eat
Mate,
eat
that sounds like a perfect job.
Yeah, eat lots of food. Just chat to people. Twitch.
Mate, we can do that. Oh, we're doing it now.
Camera.
No, they don't want to see it as well, do they?
Mm.
They want to see us eating while
Yeah.
they hear us eating and talking while we're eating.
Yeah. Weird.
Oh, you know. Whatever works, isn't it? Jack, talk us through the meal we've got here, mate. Let people know what's going on.
We've got Southern fried chicken burger
Southern fried chicken burger, yeah.
with some, as we said, Nando's peri peri
Yeah.
medium. All the
Extreme,
hardcores.
extreme medium.
Bit of lettuce, bit of onions. Boris, mate.
Yeah, chuck on there, chuck on there. Yeah. Is that it?
A couple chips.
Oh, some chips.
Oh, and a bit of cheese in there.
Oh, cheese. This looks like an ugly table.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's what Paul wants at this stage.
I think it does.
Colour here.
Ball's
All
red.
reds.
Ball's red. I know that now. But what's he going to do with this pack in the middle? He's going to try and rattle it, but he goes round it. And he goes into the pocket. Referee, it's so tough.
That's devastating.
Can't
Paul.
beat a bit of bad luck, can you?
That's devastating. Doesn't split the pack. And
Right.
the white goes in the pocket.
Well, yeah. I imagine Mike now will just fly himself into this pack.
That would be the smart thing to do. But you
Careful the black doesn't go in. Oh,
He's
really
not
split
the
it
pack
too well,
that
man.
much, and he's put that yellow right on the black there. Touching the black.
What's everyone else having for dinner tonight? You know what we've got? We've shared. Put it in the chat. What's for dinner? You think your dinner's better than ours? Prove it.
What's for dinner, lads?
What's for dinner? Hey, why bother cooking food? Just come down to MRC and order it, innit?
Yeah.
You know, chicken burgers, stuff,
Chips. Goujons.
chips and that.
Not doing takeaways just yet. But
Oh, it's quite spicy, isn't it?
it's medium. Medium for a reason. Mate.
Yeah. Love the banter, guys. Since turning back on, I've got Paul. That was boring. Oh, my food's here. Then ASMR. Yeah, it's all going on here. You never know what's gonna happen. You come, people come for the pool, but they stay for the banter. You know. You do it.
Woo.
But if you were watching the pool stream, you'd know exactly what we're scanning. We just explained to everybody. Nice. Do you want some food? went to Legoland? Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, man. Oh, I barely looked up for my plate. What's been going on in this game?
I don't know. I'm just munching, mate. Nearly finished.
Paul playing it safe. I think he's done it as well.
Right, I've finished, mate, so I can do some quality commentary now.
Yeah. Not quite able to get the double there, or the plant even. But all not left with much on here. Nearly finished my plate of food. And I'm really sad. Big chance here for Mike. That one problem yellow in between those two reds. He's missed that one, but can Paul do anything here?
Is it Paul's at the table?
Paul's about to whack
Blue,
it. Yeah.
blue between his fingers. That's how you know it's Paul.
Yeah.
What can he do? You can pop that one. Top left. But fuck.
Dropped a chip.
Oh, he's dropped the shit. It's a nightmare, Paul. It's a nightmare.
Paul.
Totaled himself.
What is going on here?
He's touched it.
It's 2 shots, mate.
Why?
Is he reds?
Paul's reds.
Oh yeah, I knew that. That's all right, actually. That's a great shot.
It's quite nice for Paul. That's
That's not too bad. Big opportunity here for Paul.
can he take it to 3
Is this the break he was waiting for? How's that?
I wonder what's happening in the other game.
That was a nice starter, mate. When's the main coming out?
Some chicken bites in or something.
Oh, that feels so much better.
If you want a bit more spicy.
Now I feel like I can really concentrate on commenting on the pool. You know, now we've got that meal out the way.
Oh, yeah,
you
I've
can
got the meal
focus.
out the way.
You can focus
What's
on the
Paul
action,
done
the
there?
reason why everyone's here.
It's gonna be tough.
It
Tough
is going to be a
shot,
tough
yeah.
shot.
What's the score, lads?
Check that shot because I think he brushed it. We're not 100% sure.
Just see, it's 3-3.
So I do it.
Right, so we're on hell. Right, sorry about that. We disappeared because we had a dispute between the players on the other table. They were wanting to check the camera feed to see if a ball hit a cushion after a shot or if it did not. And considering they are also 3-3, that was Callum against Brian. They're 3-3 as well. We've got two hells going on here. It's just amazing stuff. But Paul clawing it back from 3-1 to 3-3. You said it was impossible. Paul, I never doubted you, mate.
I've seen Paul work wonders.
Yeah, in the classroom.
In the classroom, in the bedroom,
Yeah.
in the clinic room,
Anywhere else?
the car. Good in the car.
Yeah.
So,
Courtroom.
courtroom, incredible in the courtroom. So, you know, I'm not surprised he's worked wonders on the pool table, but I did think this one was impossible. But you know,
it's
he
not over
shocks
yet.
me time and time
It's
again.
not over yet. Whoa! That was close. I thought I might be going in there for a second.
Well, Mike's got control of that white ball.
He
at the
has,
moment.
yeah.
It's not what Paul wants to see. This one will be a tough pot. Nothing simple here.
Now, this is a toughie. He's going for the back double. Down the rail. Back double. He's got it wrong. The white's gone flying into the cart in the bottom corner there. We have a score update on the other game between Callum and Brian. Brian did come out as the victor, 4-3 against Callum. Commiserations, Callum, you played very well. And it will be Brian against Dan Richards in the semi-final. Paul using his first shot here just to get himself a bit of position. Oh, that's not what he wanted, Paul. That is a big, big mistake here. And it's Hill. He had a golden opportunity there with Mike potting the white. And he goes and pots it straight back. That's really unfortunate there. Mike is a professional. He will not let this two shots go to waste. Paul will be devastated to lose this after clawing it back to 3-3. A little bit awkward there, actually, there, Mike. We get the position on the last one. How's your luck? Oh, it's not too bad. Does that squeeze through? You know, it might. It might just squeeze through. It does squeeze through, but it's quite able to get it into the pocket. Paul comes back to the table, but he's got quite a bit of work to do here, and he knows if he misses or he makes a bad shot, then Mike will surely clear up. But Paul could look to play a bit of dirt here. Exactly what he does. But I don't know, there's an opportunity here. He could play it off the cushion, you know, and clip that red in. It's a difficult shot, but he might go for it here. I think he is. He's going to go for it. No, he's not. He's going to play safe. That's probably the smart choice. Well done. Oh God. I sense Paul is going to play some dirt right back. He's got a good opportunity if he just got to get the white down the bottom side of this table. Oh. That wasn't quite right there for Paul, and this is all Mike here. Just got to stay composed, roll in a couple more balls, and he'll see himself into the semi-final. Oh my God!
He's missed it.
He's missed it. He has missed it. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. That is uncharacteristic there from Mike. That is a big, big let-off. Now, can Paul make him pay? He's got quite a bit of work left to do, but he's got the cue in his hands. He's at the table. Mike sat down wondering what the hell happened with that last shot. Was it the nerves? Was the sun in his eyes? Did the earth like rotate or something? Quicker than it normally does, or less than it normally does, because either would be a problem.
Both would be. I don't think playing ball would be the problem.
What would happen if the world suddenly stopped spinning anyway?
We would be dead.
We would all automatically start moving like 3,000 miles an hour.
We'd be
like
dead.
we'd be through every wall in this building.
We wouldn't exist. We would. You showed me that video earlier.
Yeah, that's probably too soon to talk about that on stream against live to put to the public. But it was a scientific video, wasn't it?
It was a scientific video.
It was a 3D rendering of what could potentially happen to people inside. I'm not naming any, but a submersible like submarine that implodes suddenly at like great depths. You know, this could happen to anyone.
Yeah, we're not talking about a specific thing.
No, of course not. No, of course not. But basically, what happens is they're completely eviscerated instantly.
Oh, Paul's played a bit of dirt.
Yeah, but he's left it open. There's
Was
a
it
there's
enough?
a
There's a double on there.
something there. There's a something on.
Back at the table.
Back at the table, he's got the cue in his hands. Wants to put that last shot out of his head and just bang this one in.
Well, it's
Get
in-
this game over.
The Earth is spinning at normal speed.
So he's got no excuses, and he's got it. It's close, and it's not
Oh.
quite close enough. But the
Left.
red is in a more potable position now. It's a lot more open there. A
Paul
lot more
hasn't got much
potential.
going on.
Let alone on the pool table. But he's
What
got a bit.
dirt
He's
has he
got a
got
bit.
in
He's
his
got.
mind?
He's got. Yeah, he's got some. He's got some dirty idea here. You can tell. Look at him. I don't know what he was trying.
It's
It
not
hasn't really worked out.
That could
I
be
think Mike could either go the bottom middle here or to the bottom right. I think it goes through. I think he's gonna. I don't know. I can't really tell what he's queuing up here. Is it? No, it's bottom right. Is it? No, is it middle? It's bottom right. He got it. Bang.
That's it.
And one last shot.
Good night,
Stay calm.
Irene.
Good. It's Paul, mate.
Good night, Paul.
Good night, Paul. Maybe. You never know. Hold on. Yes, he's good night.
Congratulations to Mike. He goes into the next round to play Nick Busson in the semi-final. And up next on our table is Brian Hammond against Dan Richards. Quick ad break, Stu.
Yeah, man.
Love.
So, Paul, close one. You nearly clawed it back. We thought you were going to do it.
Yeah, I had a bad final frame. I made a lot of mistakes in the final frame, but it was an enjoyable game. I like playing Mike. He's a hard player to play against.
Aye, played some good
Grind him,
shots.
and he gets angry.
Yeah, I saw him punch the table once or twice.
He scares me. He scares me a few times on there. But yeah, I'll give him a good game. I was happy with that. But he didn't play his best. He wasn't playing his best in that final frame either. But I made some bad shot selections. And yeah, a bit disappointed, to be honest. I could have won that, and made some big mistakes in that final frame, and that's what separates the wheat from the chaff.
Exactly.
As
And
you
in the other game, we had another hill Callum against
Yeah,
Brian.
it was good to see Callum push. Obviously, Brian's played Callum a lot of times. Frequently, he beats him, but good to see Callum push Brian all the way. And it was close, that final frame. I was kind of watching it as I was playing my own match. Be interesting to see Nick against Mike in the semi-final. Nick's a really good player, and if he plays at his best, he hasn't been here for a few weeks, so I don't know how he's playing. But if he plays at his best, he will push Mike. That'll be an interesting game. Dan and Brian as well. Again, Brian's going to have to be at his best to beat our current champion.
Yeah,
Dan,
tough
but
game there.
if Brian plays at his best, then he can certainly push Dan. So yeah, two interesting semi-finals there for sure.
Absolutely. I think Dan's probably since he is the title holder, he's probably the favourite.
Yeah,
I
Dan.
think, to
Dan.
win.
If you were pushing me hard, maybe I think Dan will probably nick that on Brian. Could go either way, but I think Dan will nick it, and then Nick and Mike. I think that's going to be pretty close. I struggle to pick a winner there. I mean, Mike will be the
Close.
favourite. Mike will be the favourite, but Nick can definitely do one there, and we shall see. We shall see how that goes.
Okay, yeah, you crack on whenever. So the players are going to be kicking off the first semi-final here very shortly. We will be on the main table cam in a few moments. Ryan just gathering himself, grabbing himself a beverage, staying cool, staying calm and collected as he does. He's got a tough competitor in Dan Richards. He knows that. He's going to have to play at his best to beat the current holder. Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Is there?
There, yeah, as custom with every Friday Night Fire, 20 quid for the
So
holder.
the bounty.
The bounty man is playing Brian, and he wants that bounty.
The
And
bounty.
he wants to go all the way and win. That's what he wants.
Even semi-finals here. Dan maybe just a nick it, and Mike maybe just a nick it, but Brian can beat Dan if he plays at his absolute best, and Nick. If Nick plays at his best, he could definitely beat Mike as well. So
Jump off that intermission, Stu. They are rolling.
hard to pick. They're just doing the lag here. We can see it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Looks like Red's just. Oh, who's won that lag? Is that yellow?
It's a close one.
It
To me,
looks,
it
it
looks like
like yellow. If you look at the line and what's closest to the line, you'd have to say
Get the lines out.
that yellow's just nicked that. So it will be Dan Richards, our current Friday night holder, MRC Open champion. He won his first last week and going for back-to-back titles. Prediction on this, Mr. Williams?
If Brian plays at his best, Dan plays at his best, I still have to go with Dan, but neither of these players are guaranteed to be playing at their best.
You got to pick a score.
I got to pick a score. I
have to
reckon
pick a
I'm going to
score.
go 4-2 to Dan.
I think that's a good prediction. I think that's a good prediction. So
We're off and running. Dan gets one in. Is it two? Not quite. He's got one. He's still at the table.
there's easy reds to pot, and there's a red over the pocket, but he's got a couple of reds on cushions. No easy yellow to pot. So straight away he's taking those reds. But this is not a gimme in terms of a clearance. It's a great shot. If he can land just past that. Yellow, he would have an easy one down the cushion. He can still, if he wants, take this one in the top right. Already, these top players are always trying to figure out how to take the problem ball early. He's just
He
kicked
hasn't got
in.
that one right.
Just kicked a little bit, just overcut that a touch. But reds do look a favourable colour. And Wants to cover that pocket, and he has done. Gets him back into this frame to some degree. The red down the cushion may just nick into that pocket off the yellow, or at least knock that yellow out of the way, so it's not covered it as fully as he might like. We'll see how well Dan is playing
Oh
here.
my
And just
God.
as we've
Who
said
are these
that,
people?
just as we said that, that was a very potable shot by Dan.
Yeah, I mean, Dan coming off the back of a big win against Jacob 4-1. That is not easy to do, even though Jacob was a little bit distracted with some of the shenanigans in the room. But
last Friday he Dan played, and it was a group format. He actually lost a game in the group format, but did get into the semi-finals, and he played Jake in the semi-finals. Jake had won all his games and was looking good, and Dan beat him there. So Dan has got the sign over Jacob at the moment. Look where that black's gone, just covering the red down the pushing.
the Plocket, you've had a couple tonight.
Yeah, the P.
Push and Plocket.
Getting my P's a bit mixed up. So that'll frustrate Dan. Apart from that, I would have fancied him maybe to take these reds. Get out of there straight away. He's going to come off the one on the middle bag and hope to
you
nick
wanted
it.
to clip that, not quite.
That was his opportunity. He's not going to get a better opportunity than that. Let's see him get an angle off the very bottom red, just underneath those two yellows, and maybe screw back into the black off that. He's not looking accurate on his pots. You know, he's at 3 in this frame already where he's overcut. And you know, if I'm Brian looking at that, I'll be confident enough. Brian will definitely think, you know, if he can miss those shots, then I'm in with a chance here now. This will be a real test of Brian's cue. If Brian knocks this in, he's got a real opportunity to win the frame. But this is a hard shot.
Covered the pocket well.
He didn't play it aggressively in a way that, you know, I've seen Brian rattle those in, but he's playing match play here.
What's that 20 quid bounty?
And he wasn't looking in a strong position earlier in this frame, but I'd have to say that the yellows
Shots there, called
didn't
by
touch
Dan,
didn't touch the cushion. I didn't actually pick that up myself.
That's a big mistake.
It is a big mistake, because what he was trying to leave there was the only yellow that Brian could hit. Does Brian know he's got 2 shots here? Surely he want to lift it. He knows now. I would have fancied him to lift the yellow. What's going on today? The light. He has done so.
You've had a long week, Paul. It's all right.
It has been a long week. We all got to work, so we can enjoy these Friday nights. Nice cut from Brian, but where's that yellow going? It just knuckles off the cushion. Looks like it's going to nestle in behind the black. So if this plants, he's in a good position here. Just roll that over, leave it over the pocket. As you get an angle. Quite get the angle off the one over the pocket yet. He's going to have to leave a bit of an angle. Ooh, that's not what he wanted.
He left it awkward for himself.
This is super thin. Even if he does take this on, the white's going to go travelling, so he's going to try and hit it into the middle bag. It's a good pot. Looked like it was heading in.
Dan with a lot of work to do here.
Off the contact, and how this frame has changed quickly. Dan was looking favourite. He can't get towards the plant, I don't think, in the top right pocket. Potential double. Will he leave that red there for a bit of security? Because he's in trouble. It kind of blocks the black a little bit. Not completely. Just give him a little bit of security. He's in a lot of trouble. Any other option but to take this one. He has to play it.
Oh, he's gone for something. He didn't quite get it.
That was outrageous
That was a
attempt.
really fantastic attempt.
He tried it off the 2 reds and to pot Brian's yellow. It was covering that bottom left bag. I
Going
mean,
for glory.
how these players see these kind of shots is fantastic. He's got to avoid the red. He has done. Looks like it just needs a little bit of a bounce. Just a little bit in between.
Yeah, I wanted to leave that bit more straight so we can stay on that black.
He can still hold for the black, but it's a tough pot. Didn't do either. Where's the yellow going?
Oh my
Where's the
God.
yellow going? It's gone in!
Perfect.
Bottom right! Brian Hammond with a trick shot. Did he mean that? Let's give him the credit. This is just off the cushion. If it was on the cushion, maybe a little bit easier. This is a tricky pot. That tends to happen when it's off the cushion. You slightly overcut it. And this is where I think Brian's going to feel the power of Dan Richards. I think he will have looked at Dan and think, you know, he's missed a few shots here. I can win this. This is going to hurt. I think this is going to hurt because I fancy Dan to knock all these reds in and the black to take this frame, calling it now. Needs good cue ball control. He's not been at his best so far. White just rolls a little bit further than we like, but he's still absolutely okay. He's got options. Going to take the one into the top right bag. Just control off the cushion, a little bit of
Lovely
check.
cue ball control there.
And he's got the angle just to roll it a touch. Is it maybe too much angle? He's got to play this dead weight, or he's got to play it with a little bit more power to bounce off the bottom cushion. He's a little bit in between those two there. Playing it dead weight. Oh, he's got easy weight on there, and I called it. And Brian is going to feel the power. This is what Dan can do. He had a couple of chances earlier in this frame. A couple of overcuts. Brian then took control of the frame. Just ran into a little bit of trouble, and Dan punished to go 1-0 up. The current champion. 1-0 up on Brian Hammond. Brian will have a look at that frame and think, how did I lose that? I mean, he was in trouble earlier, Brian, but then he took control of the frame. Looked in a good position. And it very quickly all went wrong. I wonder what was going through Brian's head, because I think earlier he thought, I could win this. And Dan just started to show his talent, so we have got game on here. 1-0 to Dan. Mr. Hammond to brick. Will he get a favourable brick? Walks over to get his breaking cue. Big tree trunk there you can see in his hand. Brian's break, like a little bit of an angled break. Pushes through, doesn't seem to accelerate much, but splits. I'm going to say splitting nicely, but there's quite a cluster.
Back together.
Yeah, quite a cluster. They went out and back again. Options here. It's going to take the reds. Drop it does do. He's got one very tricky red you can see just in behind the yellow. Locked into the bottom bag. Or that, Brian's talented enough that he can clear these reds up. He's tight in amongst the balls, very good player. He's going to come off the top cushion here. This does plant pretty easily. Just needs to push it through a little bit. He's a little bit concerned. He's further away than he would have liked. Maybe he could be tempted to try and split that yellow off the red. Not sure if he was trying that. If he was, the white went in the complete opposite direction. So he got into it with a lot of deep screw. Now this is going to, this is gearing up towards that black.
Oh, I don't think you want to touch that.
He's run into trouble now. So the red beside the yellow is only going to be tricky, but he's got this red on the bottom cushion as well. So how can he leave it safe? He knows what Dan can do. Dan's yellows are not ideal either. He'd be happy if he can get this red somewhere over a pocket. There's a big long back double. Oh, outrageous. He's given himself a chance for the double here as well. That was a superb shot by Mr. Hammond. Absolutely fantastic. A little bit more power, and the white was going towards the red. Can he get, you see, he was trying to get the white out. He's knocked the black out of the way, which leaves a chance for the red to go in, but the white stops that from happening.
That would have been some clearance.
Wonderful clearance, and nothing easy here for Dan. He might have a very delicate little nudge into the middle bag, and he needs to get this, because if he misses it, it's frame over. It's delicate. He's gone bottom cushion. Oh, he tried again. So clever, Dan. Very clever.
Safety.
He weighed out the percentages and recognised that, well, if he does miss, that's frame over. He's got a very capable snooker, but Brian can get off the cushion to cut this. Doesn't decide to do that. Just plays it with an element of safety, but in doing so, he's knocked his red fairly safe. Dan is a very clever player. He's maybe overhit that. Oh, he hasn't. How dare I suggest he's overhit it. Gets the full ball snooker. And this is not easy to hit. He's going to have to come off 2 cushions at least. 1, 2. That's a great effort, Brian. That is a great
Brilliant
effort.
shot there, Brian.
Little tap on the table from Dan, nudged it and pushed it towards the pocket. So this is another tricky shot for Dan. Again, I would expect him to play the snooker.
Hold on.
Where's that red going to go?
That's turned out to be an incredible shot.
I mean, Dan's calculations around the table are fantastic. I really cannot predict what he's going to do sometimes, but what I can always predict, he's going to play a clever shot. He played that double, recognizing he could cover that bag, and potentially get the snooker as well. Didn't quite get the snooker, but he covered the bag, and consequently the yellow's gone in, and now he's got 2 shots. And this is where we see the power of Dan. He's just been sitting back in this frame, playing very defensively. Now is his chance to strike. He needs this to be kind. Could have been kinder. It could have been a lot kinder. He may be tempted again to play another snooker. This is a thin one. He might be a bit frustrated that he has not had the opportunity to play snookers or to play pots. So he has took on the pot. Aggressive shot. He had an easy snooker. And showing some real quality now in both frames. He's just a little bit the wrong side of this yellow. Hold that easily and play these into the middle bag. I think Brian will be frustrated. He's got down to the final ball before the black on both frames. This is missable, thin. He's got to come off the cushion as well, so a little bit of pace, but no problem whatsoever for Mr. Richards.
Get on the black here though. Leave it straight, leave it long.
He's going to play it off the cushion. He's going to leave the long one. He knows he has faith in his potting ability.
Lovely
And
clearance.
99 times out of 100, Dan knocks this in. Oh, that was the other one! That was the other one! Did not expect that from Mr. Richards. 99 out of 100, we called it. But there's always one that you miss. And he's left an angle for Brian to just roll this in. Little touch of top left. To get on the black. He hasn't
Ooh,
tried
left,
too much.
yeah,
He
yeah,
hasn't tried too much.
Tentative shot.
Still expect Brian to get this, but there's pressure. Oh, he's
Oh,
knuckled it!
Brian.
Brian will be furious.
He's
Brian
doing
will be
it.
furious, and there's the fury.
Yeah.
There's the fury. Wow. What can you say about this game of pool? Brian again got down to the final ball. Dan, who's been so clever with his shot selection, got onto the black, left himself a fairly longish black, but it looked like a comfortable pot for a man of his talent. We said 99 out of 100, but it was the other one. It was the one that you miss, and he did miss it. He overcut it by quite a bit. Left Brian a fairly simple one into the middle bag. He had a little bit of an angle. Maybe it was too thin. He thought if he did play it, he would have come across too much. So he just played it to give himself the shot. And it was a tricky enough one, and unfortunately, under the pressure, too tricky for Brian to pop it in. Left it over the pocket. Dan Richards, our current champion, goes 2-0 up.
Dry break here though.
He has had a dry break, and Brian again will be in first. He's got options, upward bridging to take the yellows, but the yellows are clustered together. So you would fancy the reds, but there is a red tied up with the 4 yellows there you can see. So again, don't fancy any reverse dishes. Would expect Brian to do a little bit of damage here. It's been the story of this match so far. Brian surging ahead in the frames. Dan then coming back. Doing the business. However, he did miss a black. And Brian missed a black. That's this game. It's a game of millimeters. So you can see that Brian has decided to clean white, just making sure that Dan is happy with the repositioning. White is important because there's a gap maybe in between the yellow and the black if you want to take one into the middle bag, but he's going to take this thin one down into the bottom right pocket. Knocks it in. Couple down the cushions, top or bottom. What one are you going to go for, Bright? Of course, he's still got 2 tricky reds. He's going to have to think about developing at some point. It's a lovely pot, nice little nudge on the black, but I don't think this goes. Zach Howard's come in, give me a big dirty burger. I'll take some sauce. Sauce has been offered. Ketchup. Ketchup. If there's ketchup. Zach Howard comes in with a big dirty burger. Unexpected. That's what you get down here in the Friday Night MRC. You get kindness from kind people. And the great pool tournaments. Brian,
Some medium. Do you want some medium?
I've-
medium Nando's.
I've had
anyway?
enough of your hot sauce.
Come
Like,
on, it's medium.
Stuart makes me dinner sometimes, and he likes his hot sauce. I was on the toilet for a couple of mornings after it, so calm down on the hot sauce. Not made for these Irish intestines and stomach. An interesting shot there from Dan. I like watching. I've no idea what Dan's going to. Oh, there you go,
Dirty
dirt.
man.
I was just going to say, he always chooses a clever shot. I think Brian's getting a bit frustrated with that. He's leaning on the table, the famous Brian lean. I think he's getting a bit frustrated. I can imagine Brian's just talking about something. He's, like, he's waving his hands around. He's like, I've had enough of this, man, Dan Richards. You just keep playing dirt all the time and then punishing me. He's in a spot of bother here, Brian. I mean, the only way out you can really see is off that near cushion. I mean, he could come off the bottom cushion and aim towards the red on the top right side of the table. He's probably worried he will wrap around that, and he knows what happens when he gives Dan two shots. Dan uses them very wisely. Still talking, Brian.
Good thing.
I'll tell you, Dan has played him well. Dan, you frustrate him. The best way to beat Brian. Wonder how the other semi-final is going between Mike Griffiths and Nick Goosen. It's hard because it's whenever you have to play this off the cushion when it's so close to the cushion, it's really tricky to get the angle right. He's hit it. It's gone towards the pocket. Not a bad effort from Brian. You know, it was damage limitation. At least he's not giving away the two shots. And Dan will have to work hard to get positioning here. He's played that. So good. So good. I mean, he played it with a little bit of side just to hold the white. The natural angle is go towards the black side cushion. Deep screw on this. Play this with a bit of pace. Oh, he's missed the pot. That's always a risk. That is always a risk when you've got to play it with a little bit more pace. He had to force a bit of screw onto that to get on the top half of the table. So Mr. Hammond with a bit of an opportunity. Brian played that a bit quickly. If he'd have looked at that angle, and it would have been very aggressive, I think he had a little angle to maybe get towards the red and the yellow that are close together. But that is an insurance policy for him at the minute as well. But he's going to play it now, is he? He's going to play it now, is he? He's knocked it. He's knocked the yellow away a little bit, but I don't think the red still pots. He's going to take his double on. No, he's now having a little think because the red does not pot easily. He's just wrapping his finger around the table. Is he going to go around the whole table with that finger? Look at this. This is a big show. He's got a pot on here. It's thin. If he does get it, he knocks into the yellow and leaves himself this red into the top bag. But again, not easy to get on the black, and it's a tricky pot. Aggressive stuff from Mr. Hammond. He's gone for the double! Triple!
Quite.
Not quite, and he knows what happens. He's been in this situation in every frame. He's been down to his final ball before the black, and what tends to happen starts with a D, ends with a T, and has got dirt
Gets tied
in
up.
the middle of it. Dirt! And it's happened again. Oh, he tried a little bit of a bend, but it's still going towards that red. He's hit it. He's hit it. He's knocked it safe, but he has hit it. Does he go for more dirt, or does he knock this into the middle bag? He goes for more dirt, of course. He goes for more dirt. That's what Mr. Richards is famous for in this game. Mr. Hammond should hit this. Needs to hopefully get it safe. He went for hoping to get a lovely little kiss where he knocks it safe, but the yellow's going towards middle bag. He's covered it. He's covered that middle bag.
Dirt coming up,
Well,
ball.
It's really hurting him here. He's really hurting him with dirt after dirt after dirt. To be fair to Brian, he is hitting him now. I think the natural angle off the near cushion is blocked. So he comes off the top cushion, hits it again. Pushes the yellow down towards the cushion, little tap on the table from Mr. Richards there. Now he has got a way in if he takes this middle bag, and then he can take the one down the cushion. roughly control, but this is going to be interesting. Does he just play this with a touch of follow through and take this tricky one down the cushion? This is not an easy pot. Oh, I think he's going to try and nestle in behind it.
Dirty man.
Of course he is.
My God.
Of course he is. And
He
Mr.
needs
Hammond,
a shower.
what must be going through Brian's head? It's just snooker after snooker. In all 3 frames, this has been the situation Brian's been in. You have to say, Brian, it's a level of respect being shown to you by Mr. Richards. And it's worked so far for Mr. Richards. And out of all the snookers that Brian has had to get out of, this is the hardest. He's trying to come off the side cushion with a lot of left-hand side spin because the angle's not
too
there.
much.
Well, he did get a lot of left-hand side on it. Too much, in fact. Where he's left the white, I don't think he will lift this. He's going to play the plant.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, he knew it was going over the pocket, but he was probably hoping for something a little bit better with the other yellow. Now, he's got an option here. He can take this long yellow into the top right, and then he's got a plant down the cushion, which would leave it over the pocket, but this is a hard pot. Could be a frame winner. There is another risk that he could snooker himself on the black. He does try a little bit too much with it. Big pot. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. He had to play that with a little bit of pace and follow through. Otherwise, he would have snookered himself with the black. And he knows this plant. He's just got to get it the right kiss. Lovely. I think he just needs to tap this. And he's got a fairly simple one into the middle bag. It's beautiful. Love watching Dan Richards. Brian Hammond must be thinking, what is this guy on? He's a dirty player. Where's the white going? It's going completely safe. 3-0 to Dan Richards after a display of technical ability and snookers, the like of which you've never seen down at the MRC.
Dan at the table here, and he is 3-0 up against Brian. Brian hasn't really been playing badly at all, but Dan has just been putting him, just covering him with dirt, just burying him ton after ton. But that's the way Dan needs to play to beat somebody as good as Brian, and he's played it well so far, and he's in a 3 balls left. He's in a good position here to see this semi-final off.
It's been the most open split. And where we've had some long frames, I thought I missed that for a second. We've had some long frames. This could be a very quick one. Potential dish. If he gets this, the dish is on. The dish is on.
That would just be the icing on the cake, I think, for Brian. These frames have been battled hard. But this last one looks like it could be over very quickly, and it looks like that's
Does it
pretty-
squeeze in the middle?
I think it does.
It does!
It does.
What a horrible game for Brian. Dished in 3 masterclasses of dirt. Dan Richards shows he's got it all. Everything. And he's our current Friday night champion. And on that display, 4-0 victory over Brian Hammond. It's going to be very, very difficult to beat. You just see a big smile from Mr. Richards. Dan, there was some serious dirt. We were calling you the tactical master. That was a great performance. And then a dish to finish, showing you've got everything to your game.
Dish in the end.
How did you find that match?
Tricky. Good potter, isn't he? He's very attacking. Just got to try and slow him down. Grind it out.
We both predicted you to win 4-2. And Brian had a few opportunities, but then
Yeah, he should have had 1 or 2 frames.
when you, one of the three, you played about 18 snookers in a row.
Only the 18.
It was, but yeah, really good to watch. We were always trying to guess how you were going to snooker him, and you know your tactical prowess around the table was enjoyable to watch. And then with a lovely dish to finish as well. So congratulations, getting into the final again, going for back-to-back titles. Who would you rather play, Mike Griffiths or Nick Busson?
Don't know really. Don't mind either. You got to play. It is 2 or 3-0 to Mike.
Mike leading 3-2 or 3-0. We just have that confirmed. Well, we will get it confirmed. So it looks like it will be a Mike versus Dan Richards final.
So we're just going to have to wait for the other game to finish. Unfortunately, with this new setup, we do not have an alternate cam, so we won't be able to keep an eye on the other game while we wait. But we do have some...
Gives me a chance to eat my burger.
gives you a chance to eat your burger, yeah. We do have some music, so tell you what, why don't we take a little 5-minute break? We'll go and find out what's going on in the other room. Huh? 3-0 Mike, so it could be over quicker than we thought. So, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break while they finish up this last frame, and we'll be back with the final.
Burger!
Potentially, if you never know, Nick could most certainly make a comeback. We saw it with your game against who'd you play?
Mike.
Against Mike, exactly. So you know, Mike's been 3-0 up before, come back to 3-all. So you know, we could only be halfway finished so far. But yeah, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, get some music on for you guys, and we'll be back shortly. So we just got Brian here while we wait for the other semi-final to finish up. Brian, how did you find that? He put up a good fight. He put you in under a lot of dirt.
No, he
had to tie you up.
He's a very good player, but that's what I was just trying to say to Callum. Like I'm obviously Dan has watched me play. Like I haven't seen much of Dan play because obviously he goes further in tournaments and stuff. But I haven't seen a lot of Dan's ball. But obviously he's seen me play a lot, and he's obviously worked out I'm quite an attacking player. So from the get-go, he's looking to put me in snookers, looking to get in my head, looking to play safe, and waiting until the clearance is there. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to break players down, especially attacking players such as myself. But I really enjoyed that because it was like a chess match. But next time I play him, it will be a chess match. I won't go for everything and I'll try and do it back to him. It will be a very interesting game next time I play him. But congratulations to Dan and good luck to the finalists.
Absolutely well said, Brian. Thank you very much for coming down. Hope to see you again soon, my boy. See you in a bit. So there we have it, Paul.
Walk on.
4-1 to Mike Griffiths in the semi-final.
Yeah, he was 3-0 up, and Nick got a frame back, and then he looked like he was going to get another frame back. Potted the black, and then the white just kept rolling. Went in.
Yeah.
And
I know,
off.
I did see that shot. It was quite unlucky. It was a lovely pot, but
In
there
off.
we go.
Unfortunately, that was the end of the match for Nick, and so Mike is in the final against Mr. Richards. Any predictions for the final? How do you see this one
I would
going?
want to call this one.
Dan, current Friday night champion, going for back-to-back. We just got Julian getting a beverage, as predicted Mike. A bit of bias there maybe, but Mike is hard to beat. Tough player. Mike to brick with his very identifiable pull glove, and he's knocked one in off the brick. A little bit tricky. Kind of in between some of the yellows and the reds there. The good thing about this delicate one, if he takes this yellow, it'll be tricky to control the white off this as well. It's going to career into a couple of reds, but he's done okay there. He has got a yellow down into the bottom right pocket, but a little bit of an upward bridge. So we'll see how well Mike is queuing. Not so well, according to that. You cannot give Dan too many chances. Just going to change our graphic. It's not a race to 4 because this is the final on the Friday night.
Final.
The Friday night open. The final is always first to 5.
An extra frame for any shenanigans.
Well, I think there will be shenanigans. We've got the
Paul, we're up to 8 million viewers in the chat.
8 million viewers. Hello,
8 million
everyone.
viewers.
Hello, all 8 million of
Give
you.
us your predictions, guys. Who's going to take the crown this week?
My money is on. I waited till Julie left. My money's on Dan.
She's watching the stream in there, you know.
My money's on Dan. I think Dan is just going to have a little bit too much, but Mike has ground his way through. He had a real tough quarter final against myself, where he won 4-3, and then he battled past Nick 4-1. Whereas Dan he's cruised, so Dan will be a little bit fresher. He's going to take this again. Oh my word, Dan Richards. I mean, I thought, what's he trying here? Of course, he's trying to get his problem ball dealt with, but he tried to get it somewhere near the pocket and a potential snooker. He's left it so awkward for Mike here. It's a great pot, though, from Mike. Mr. Griffiths is showing what he's all about. Tough, determined player. Sometimes when you play against Mike and he plays a shot he's not happy with, you hear him kind of mumbling in the background, swearing a bit.
Passion, Paul.
It is passion.
Passion.
He's certainly a competitive player. Good lad, though. I like Mike.
Lovely shot.
Double. Lovely double. He's got a thin one if he wants it, but it'll crash into the red if he tries it on the bottom right. Could be tempted to take this one down the cushion, but that white has got hazards if he tries that. So tricky here for Mike after that double. Probably would have wanted to double, maybe just hang over the pocket. So big shot here. Cannot give Dan too much, and that's another great effort. I
so
thought it was going to
close.
go in. I mean, second best, he's covered the bag. So Dan is going to have to play these reds with the two reds that are closest to the top cushion in a way that he leaves them for top left or into the center bags, which makes it a little bit trickier for him. But knowing Dan and his cue ball control and his tactical awareness and nous, he'll work something out. And there's the first problem sorted pretty easily. In fact, he solved both reds with that, because if he holds this, he's got the red into the top left after this. And he wants to leave an angle where he can get down the table. Oh, it looks a little straight here. So he's going to have to play this with deep screw, maybe a bit bottom left to get a little kick off the cushion to come down the table. There's the bottom left that I've spoken about. It's beautiful.
Oh, delicious.
Absolutely beautiful. And he needed a little angle off this to kick up. And I think he'll try and play this off the bottom cushion, try and leave the white somewhere near the center of the table, and leave that black into the bottom left bag. But he's got options. He could follow through and leave it into the bottom right. Whatever Dan does, it will be the right option.
Oh, it's delicious.
And of course, it's nothing I said.
My
It's
God.
a lovely little kiss onto the black to leave it into the center bag, as Stuart predicted off the microphone. Lovely stuff from Dan. I mean, his tactical way around the table and his nous is second to none here, and he showed it again. 1-0 to Dan, although it is a longer match. Right, there's Mike. He's waving his hand about something there. I think he was a little bit unhappy about some things on the table earlier, and you know he will vent his frustration, Mike. There's no doubt about that. And how will Dan deal with that? He's an intense character. Is Mike at the table? I don't think Dan's the sort that would get ruffled.
No, he's here. He's concentrated.
I do feel that if Dan goes 2 up, he could run away with this. So big frame this. Big frame from Mike.
Every frame is important in
I
the
think,
final,
yeah,
isn't it?
I think if it stays tight and tense, you know, it's going to suit Mike all the way down to the ground. If it's really open, I think Dan could run away with it. Monster brick. Yellow drops. Big split. And the last time Dan had a split like this, we saw a dish in the final frame.
First dish of the night, I believe.
Final frame against Mr. Hammond. He's got options here. If I was him, I would probably be tempted by the reds. Though either is an option. It's just the yellow's covered into the top left by the red close to the cushion there, which is the one that would potentially stop you getting a dish here. He's a little bit close to the cushion. So it means he's going to have to force this a little bit. And there is a risk that the white could go into the yellow, taking this pot into the bottom right. So he might have to rethink this a little bit. Yeah, he's going to play one of the top reds. Just needs to play it dead weight. As he has done nicely. Just wiped its feet a little bit before it dropped. So the tricky one for him out of these 5 will be the one just underneath the black. It's potable, but he's going to have to think carefully about how he gets on that. It's likely he will clear these 4 reds on the top half of the table first. Now, it's just gone a little bit too far. I think he would have liked to have given himself options, but oh, this does go. It might have been blocked by other red, but that certainly helps.
Oh, it's perfect, isn't it?
He's controlled the white very nicely. Again, give himself options. Now, this being tight on the cushion, he will have to play it with a bit of deep screw if he takes that. He plays it with a little bit of pace, and his pockets are tight. And that's exactly what we're talking about, Mr. Williams.
Tight pockets.
When the pockets are tight, you play it with a bit of pace, they become missable, and
Big chance for Mike
a
here.
chance for Mike. I mean, that problem yellow we said right at the very start, it's still blocked on the top half of the table. But Mike needs to settle into this final. It's just okay. Just
Middle,
okay.
The top middle, he's alright.
Just okay. Delicate. Man of Mike's talents will rattle this in. He's just 1 or 2 millimeters going a bit far, but he's okay there again. He's got options here nicely, actually. He's increased his pace. Oh, he's trying to get the red out of the way. Well, he knocked the red over the bag. He's going to be tempted now by this yellow. Down the cushion, the bottom right bag.
Very tough shot.
Gets this. Could be frame over. Miss it. Could be frame over. Oh, it's wiped its feet. It wiped its feet and it stayed out. The gods of pool said no. He has got the second best in terms of he's covered that pocket.
Yeah.
And the red, I'm not sure it goes in anywhere else.
It might go in the middle, bottom middle there, if he's got the right angle on it, but just get in there.
If there's any way of getting on it, I'm sure that Dan will work it out. He's got a little bit of an angle on this.
He's just going to screw straight back, isn't he?
Not sure. Well, I'm not sure the angle's there to screw straight back into it, but could be an option. But I think you're right. I think
He's just
I think
going to screw
I think
straight
it's
back
there.
off the
It's
cushion
not
and bring
ideally.
himself around for the middle pocket. Watch this.
Mr. Richards, what are you going to do?
I'm amazing.
1, 2, the Pierce.
Too
He's going to nudge it.
far.
He hasn't got the pot there. He's touching the black. He cannot pot this. And the way the yellows are, this is very tricky. So he's in big trouble here.
Oh,
He is in big trouble. There is no easy dirt with that yellow over the pocket. There's really nothing he could do there. And I thought, surely Dan's not going to work some magic out. And not even he could work something that wasn't any effort of anything there, really. There's nothing he could do. Now, Mike, at his best, controls this. Against me, he would have cleared these up. There's no doubt about that. Just needs a bit of screw back on this. Make sure he gets past the black.
no problems there.
He's forced it through, but he's got an angle here he won't be happy with. I mean, he would have liked the easy shot into the middle bag, but if he takes that, the white's gone up the table, so he'll have to play it with a bit of pace. The easier positional is to take the top left and just roll through, and that's what he's taken. This is missable. May play it as a shot to nothing where he covers the red. He hasn't done either. In fact, he forced that white so much, and that was just coming up a little bit short prior. And unfortunately, Mr. Griffiths, you cannot make those errors against Dan. I believe this is straight enough just to screw back somewhere near where the white is now. He might come off the bottom cushion. He's got a kiss
Ooh, a
onto the
little bit,
black.
little bit.
I mean, you can cut this, but where's the white going?
This is far more awkward than he would have
Yeah,
liked.
a lot more awkward than he would have liked. And I think if he cuts this, that white is flying towards the top center pocket there that you can see on the camera view. And he's definitely having a good think about it. Otherwise, he would have knocked this in. So he might have to play this with a bit of steep screw to avoid it. Where's the
Yellow's
white
gonna stop
going?
him.
He's fine. Lovely little cut. And 2-0 up to Dan. That frame could have gone either way. I felt Mike needed that to keep it tight. So 2-0 to Dan. We just a little ad break there. Stuart not telling me when the ad break was.
You
So
got to pay attention.
got cut off again. In our Friday night flyer events, you can see, sponsored by playclothing.co.uk. I really enjoy the hoodies. I've got a lovely Play Clothing hoodie that I enjoy wearing.
Yeah.
Makes me
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it more soon.
Well-
the winter's coming fast.
I needed it over the summer, the
Yeah.
weather we've had here in the summer. But yeah, that's my favourite clothing. But yeah, check out the website. Some wonderful garments, fashionable
Comfortable.
and
Organic.
organic. Don't panic.
Organic.
Don't panic. They're organic. White's
Yeah.
white's safe. Yellow's dropped.
40 per second, 75 per second.
Julie, come up, ask what is the prizes tonight. So our runner-up gets big dirty 40 quid
Not bad.
just for
For,
being
for
a
a £5
runner-up.
entry.
So interesting that asking what the totals are halfway through the final, is that a lack of confidence? You know, just making sure I want to know what
Mind
mine
games.
I wouldn't put it past Mike to play a few mind games. And how much for the finalist? 75 for the winner. And of course, £20 bounty if you are able to beat Dan, who is our current champion. That doesn't look like it goes into me. He might be just trying to cover the pocket. Oh, he's taking a red. yellows. So easy pot on the red for Mike, and those are fairly open reds. Maybe the bottom, the one on the far left in our camera view, the bottom on the table red. I'm not sure it goes into any pocket. That is going to be the tricky one to figure a way to get onto. There's Mr. Hammond on the chat. Dan played awesome against me. Can't wait to play him again next time. It will be a chess match. Look forward to it. Class player. Yeah, we enjoyed that match, Brian. Very tactical. Brian got down to the final ball before the black on the first 3 frames, and then Dan just snooker after snooker after snooker. And then he finished up with a dish, showing he's got everything to his game. So yeah, really good player, Dan, and good to see you in the tournaments as always, Brian. Brian had a real good game against Callum. Callum has played Brian quite a bit and often loses to Brian, but Callum gave him a bit of a fight this time. 4-3, but Brian, again, just did enough to get through. And then faced our reigning champion, Dan Richards. It was a great match, and Mike has just missed red down the cushion. Stayed somewhat over the pocket, but the yellow that's closest to it, I think it can maybe squeeze in. We know what Dan's like when he's in this position. He tends to always play the right shot. Usually it leaves your opponent in trouble. He needs a nice little kiss here. Now, I'm not sure about that
he can
one.
see through there, can he?
He normally plays those shots very well, but I think it's just gone a touch far. Now, he's close to the cushion, so it's hard to get the white back, so he plays it with a lot of top to kick off the bottom cushion.
It doesn't go past that yellow, does it? Does it? It might
I don't
do.
think it does.
He's
but
got that straight
could be a
down
triple.
for
Could
it.
be a triple into the top center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Off the black.
Sometimes you just got to hit and hope.
It's not safe. I tell you, if there's one player you don't want to be down, and Mr. Hammond will tell you this, on your last ball, when he's got plenty of balls left, is against Dan Richards. But these yellows are potable, so he takes his time, and when he strikes, he normally strikes. Does the business, does Mr. Richards, and he's decided to strike as opposed to playing any snooker. Has that come up far enough? Can he pot the one into the top right? He's got option in the top left, but it's a slightly tougher pot. Both of them are fraught with error. He's taking the slightly harder one. Big shot.
Bangs it in and develops his yellow. It's a delicious shot.
It's a beautiful shot. Nudged that one that was close to the cushion.
It's a tight one if he goes for the middle pocket. It's a tight one.
I mean, it is potable now, but as you say, it is a missable one. Very delicate. If he takes it, pots it, you'd have to say it's frame over, and it would
I mean, he
be 3-0.
could just play safe and just roll the white down the far end of the table.
How aggressive does
Quite
he feel?
easily.
Slightly. Is it going to be hampered?
Down the
It's
pot.
a long cue. Doesn't need to do much with the cue ball. Oh, I thought he'd missed it.
Squeezed it in. This is
Thought
what he
he'd
does.
missed it,
This is
but
what he does.
he nails it, and it looks fairly straightforward from here. Just a little screw back off this top right. Maybe leave himself a touch of an angle on the final yellow so he can just roll the white down so he's not going to screw it back too much.
I think
He
he's
thinks
all right.
he's a little straighter than he'd like to be, so as opposed to being able to push it through, he's going to have to kick back off the cushion that he's touching at the moment.
He's done it well.
He's played it nicely. It was a little harder than it needed to be, but at Dan's level, still an easy shot for him. And this is fairly straightforward into the middle to go 3-0. And there it
Gets
is, 3-0 to our reigning champion, looking for back-to-back Friday night titles. Is there anyone out here that can stop Dan Richards? Where are you, Justin Bishop? Where are you, Graham? Get down here. Dan is the new king of the MRC Friday night events. Dave Morgan, get down here. Cole Bedford, where are you? Tom Davis. Because at the minute, Dan Richards is ruling the roost here, looking for back-to-back titles on the Friday night flyer
Has that
events.
been done before?
I think it has been done. I believe it has been done.
I think Justin.
Justin has done it.
Where is he now?
He was here earlier, wasn't he? He was here earlier.
He was, yeah. He
played
did. He
Jake
did
with a
come down
money
earlier.
match.
Fair play, yeah, he did.
Yeah, we need.
He's at a wedding.
Ah,
He's
his
at a
wedding,
wedding. He's at
so
a wedding
we're
tomorrow.
at a wedding.
So he's got to prepare for that.
Matt
by getting
Bohr,
on the
Matt
beers,
Bohr
actually.
as well. We need him.
Yeah, get Matt back down. It's his wedding. Actually.
Oh, it's him. Is he,
Yeah.
Matt's getting married.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Matt. Katie Morris is saying go Danny. So Katie's Dan's daughter.
It's Mia. Mia's his daughter.
Oh, Mia. Hello, Mia. So supporting Katie is the girlfriend and Mia is the
doesn't
daughter.
have a YouTube account.
Hello, Mia. Supporting her father who's doing the business,
Aye,
looking for
absolutely.
back-to-back titles. Good to see Katie here as well. I'm
He'll be bringing home the big bucks as well if he wins.
Yeah, well, hopefully that money goes towards Katie and Mia. Hard work from Dan, spending it all. Be a nice present for Katie and Mia after tonight. Now he's got a little tricky yellow here that he could develop. And he has done so beautifully. Lovely stuff from Dan.
If Mike's not careful, Dan will run away with this.
Well, we did say that if he nicks that first frame and then gets the second, this is not looking good at the minute for Mike. Lovely little nudge in. You can just hold this for the trickiest of all these yellows, which is in the center part of the bottom of the table
Has
there.
to be delicate.
Just needs to hold it off the cushion. And again, his weight, his control of the white
Does
is
he give
nice.
himself enough of an angle to get back up to that yellow? Or
He-
does he just leave
yeah.
it where that yellow is and go for the long pot?
Yeah, he can definitely give himself a shot on it, but it might be a little bit further away. It depends how much he wants to force this. The more he forces it, the more risk it is. He's just,
Oh, it's
again,
just
he
lovely.
played,
It's
he played
just
the percentage. Played the percentage. Forced it a little bit. Knew that.
Still got an angle on this yellow to get back down. He's got to get back down the left side of the table to have a go on this black.
Yeah, lots of reds he could potentially hit,
Yeah,
especially
needs to
the
avoid
two,
them.
especially the two that are close to the middle pocket. Needs to avoid
Oh,
them.
he's got him
He
round.
might nick the nut.
Oh, he's got him a bit
in
lucky.
between.
Mike will be furious with that little bit of
Well-
luck. But he's done so well to get there anyway. I mean, a little bit of luck. You need that in the final.
I'm
anyway.
not sure it was luck. I just
You think he
he-
aimed for the
you know,
knuckle?
I've seen so much of
Even
Dan
if he
now.
missed, even if he missed the far side of the knuckle, he was coming around perfect for it anyway.
I've seen so much of Dan now. I think he meant that. You know, he's so precise with those shots, and he's gone 4-0 up. Just a reminder,
That
the
is
final.
a mountain back for Mike here, but he's got the talent to do it. He really can. He just needs maybe a little bit of luck to go his way, you know, and then he can get down to business himself. But
Final first of 5. Just remember, so Mike's having a good chat with him here about something. Maybe just checking whose break it is. So whoever won the lag, it will be their break. And can we remember who won the lag,
I
Stuart?
cannot.
Zach's in. We know that Zach is normally. They're actually just checking the score. Sometimes when you're playing, you're just not.
You just lose
sure,
track. You know,
yeah,
you
lose
lose
track.
track of the scorecard. That's all right. Concentrating so much. That's all right. We're keeping an eye on the game for you. You just concentrate on the skill.
Is there any hope for Mike? Dan going for back-to-back titles. 4-0 down to someone like Dan. You know, if you give Dan one chance, it's going to be over. So Mike needs to play some pull from the heavens.
He's definitely got the
Any
ability
hope?
to.
Oh, he's got the. If he can beat me, he can beat anyone. Will Dan in front of his lady and his daughter take the title yet again here? Big break required. The white has gone flying in. That's the last
not what he
thing.
wanted.
The last thing. A nice open table. The yellows look beautiful.
Could this be what he did to Brian?
The reds don't look too bad either. There's one tricky one, but the yellows surely is the shot here. He's got 2 shots, so his first shot's a free shot to develop something. This could be over quite quickly, Stuart. This could be a 5-0 victory.
We've seen it before when he played Brian, when Dan played Brian. The final frame. Quick dish. So he's got it in him.
Well, if we look at the statistics tonight, so he lost 1 frame. He beat Jacob Bayless 4-1 in the quarterfinal. And then in his semi-final, he beat Brian 4-0. And there's a possibility of a 5-0. So that's 5 plus 4 is 9, plus another 4 is 13. 13 frames he will have won tonight with only 1 frame lost. That is an impressive record
He is the man on fire at the moment.
from our returning champion. 13 frames won, only 1 lost. We need some of the real talent of mid-wheels to come back because we've got a new superstar here, Mr. Richards. One potentially tricky yellow. This is the one that's closest to the middle bag there. I He tried to develop there with the
He
red.
could cut it in the middle now. I mean, it's a tough one.
He was trying to
Or he
use.
could
he
just
was-
go for a straight double.
He was trying to use that red to develop. It's very thin. If he does want to try and cut this, could be the double.
Oh, he's kissed it
Yeah,
off.
it was a little bit too close, and it hit the double kiss. So a chance for Mike,
And he needs to take it.
and all the reds go. And the trickiest one, the one on the cushion, is potable right now. How brave are you, Mike? Are you going to take that down the cushion now? I mean, a confident player who
Does it-
knows they're
does it-
potting things.
Does it squeeze past that?
Pretty
He's
sure,
not going for
pretty,
it. He's not going for it anyway.
pretty sure that goes down the cushion. I mean, it'd be a very brave shot to try
Going
and
for safety. That's
Oh,
a smart choice.
I'm
I'd
not sure
say.
I'm not sure he's covered it. He needed it a little bit further up. I mean, there's no pot on here. I'm not sure he can.
He's got a double. He's got a plant on his bottom left.
He definitely wanted it tighter. So Mike
Oh,
chose the
off
conservative
cushion. It's a
option.
lovely shot.
Chose the conservative option, and not the right option. Not the right option against Dan. But when you're 4-0 down, very difficult to try and figure out how to play this man.
He is on fire tonight. It seems whatever you do, he'll come up with an answer.
He's a little bit close to the cushion here, so he can really only hit the top part of the white. So it's going to follow through a bit. So because of that,
And he didn't quite get it right.
yeah, because of that, he turned down the pot and he thought he could maybe land in behind the two
Clustered
yellows.
together, and he's given Mike an opportunity to pot here.
Yeah, not his best shot of the night, Mr. Richards. And he can play this as a bit of a shot to nothing, nice and soft. So if he does miss, he makes it a bit more awkward. But again, Mike not.
He's given
Quite-
down an opportunity to pot this
Yeah.
bottom yellow and split those two yellows.
Yeah, he's not as accurate as he has been tonight, Mike.
That's exactly what he does. Well, he hasn't quite got as lucky as he could have there, but there is a plant on, maybe. A pretty straight-ish plant. He's going to go for it,
He
you know.
needs to develop it a little bit. It's missable.
That's delicious.
Beautiful, beautiful shot.
How's your luck? It's not too bad.
He's got an angle here where he can come off the bottom cushion. As long as he avoids the two reds and the black that's in the middle of those two reds, he should give himself a shot on that final yellow. But he needs to find a gap through those two reds and the black where the white is now. Just nudges the red out of the way. He didn't need to find the gap. Decided
It's
to
a
make his
lovely
own gap.
shot.
Decided to make his own gap. And if that black goes into the center bag, he just needs to roll this in. Oh, Mr. Richards! Did not expect that. I mean, it might just be delaying the inevitable. These reds are very tricky.
Mike's got a lot of work to do, but he's at the table. He's got a chance, and he's got the ability to clear these up.
It is very difficult with those two reds. You can see the top part of the camera angle. They make life very difficult, but what Mike can do is find a way to put Dan in trouble.
I think that's what he's going to do. I think he just had Dan check if that red was touching the cushion, and it isn't, so he can just tuck up behind it. And he's left Dan with, he's going to have to
And
play.
he used the black as well there because he knows that covers
The
the
double.
double.
Yeah.
He's going to have to
What is
force
Dan
it with a
gonna
bit
do?
of spin, so he's putting a bit of a left-hand side spin on, which should check the ball back.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a-
beautiful! Beautiful
Is
shot!
he going to get behind that red? He's not.
He's
This
left
is
himself
a
a shot.
fantastic shot.
He had to force that angle. He put a lot of side spin
Can he-
on the
can he
cue
do
ball
it?
for the title. 2 in a row.
And he
He's done
gets
it
it.
again.
What a game.
Dan Richards with an outstanding performance becomes back-to-back Friday Night MRC Open champion yet again. Superb check shot on the final the final yellow before the black. He had to make that angle. Mike did the right thing. Snookered him
What
nicely.
can you do against a guy who plays that well?
But he's been on fire tonight. And it's an impressive performance in the final 5-0 winner and
So there we
back
have
to back.
it. Right, I need to give them their prize winnings.
Go for it, give them the money, but there we can see the draw. So we had Brian Hammond beat Jordan 4-0 in
And
the
he keeps
preliminary
his
game.
bounty.
Keeps his bounty, so that bounty goes up, I believe. So can anyone, so it'll go up to £40 in the next Friday night. Can anybody beat Dan Richards? If you do on the next Friday night open event, there's a bounty on his head. Back-to-back Friday night open champions. So that should get interesting for some of you top players in mid-wheels. Can you take the bounty off Dan Richards? And look at the results. So we had Brian Hammond in a humdinger against Callum, his good friend. 4-3 victor there. Dan, only frame he lost all night. 4-1 winner over our resident Jacob Bayless. I lost myself to our finalist there, Mike Griffiths 4-3. And then Julie lost 4-0 to Nick Busson, who's been back after a few weeks away. Good to see Nick back. He lost in the semi-final against Mike 4-1. And Dan Richards with a great performance. Entertaining game against Brian. Very tactical, really tied Brian up in all sorts of knots in that game. And then what a performance in the final to make it back-to-back Friday night. Open events here down at the MRC, sponsored by playclothing.co.uk. And indeed, as Callum says, well played. He was on fire tonight. He was on fire last week as well. And there's going to be a big, sizable bounty on his head next week. So remember, the winner of our tournaments, when they come back, there's a bounty on their head, and that's twice in a row. So I believe that doubles the bounty next week. So if you win the title next week and beat Dan on the way, there's a fair amount of money that you could potentially win at the Friday Night Friday event. So hopefully we'll see some of our other faces back, the likes of Justin Bishop, the likes of Dave Morgan, the likes of Graham, Cole Bedford, Tom Davis. All these players could beat the likes of Dan.
There we go. Both players chatting, laughing away. They're all in good spirits. It was a good game.
It was a good game, Dan.
What
Dan,
can you do
really
against
impressive.
a man who's just on fire, who's on top form? He just gets out of everything. Why can't we see Oriza in black? That's awful. Can't see it. Oh well. Well played, Dan. Was on fire tonight. Yes, he was absolutely unplayable tonight. So that, like you said before, Paul, before he left, the bounty would be doubled now for the next Friday Night Flyer.
There you go. There's a real
£40
incentive.
bounty on Dan's head.
Real incentive. That's
If he can make it to the next
You
one.
don't even need to beat or to win the whole tournament. Just if you beat Dan, there's a £40 bounty on his head. That's not bad for a single game of pool. £40.
Not too bad at all.
And if you do that and maybe get to the final and win it, there's big bucks, life-changing sums of money. If
Yeah,
that was the scenario.
absolutely.
But Dan well played, great performance, and I'm sure his family will be happy to see him win again
Absolutely.
on the stream.
So that's it for us, Paul. We're done.
Always
We're going to
good.
go home and go to bed.
Good to be back. Good to see a nice tournament, nicely played, good spirit in the pool room, and hopefully we can get a few more players back
Absolutely.
and get the energy that we always have in the Friday night events and see if anybody can beat this man, Dan Richards.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and hope you have a good night. We will see you next time.
Later.